So I remember a time when just going out to even family gatherings and just talking to people was super draining for me. I don't know if you've experienced this point, right? It's like, I don't know, you could call it introvert, you could call it whatever it was. But it's like within 20-30 minutes or an hour, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go home. I just want to go be by myself now. Like, this is getting too much, right? And if you especially want to get into building business and all that, you realize that you have to talk to a lot of people, and it's kind of important to not get drained fast, because how far are you gonna go within your business and whatnot, right? And even if you don't have a business, if you just have a job, still making connections and all that is very important, because then, you know, they say the point they say of your network is your net worth. It's really more than what people realize. Like during the whole 2020 thing, the whole crazy COVID, whatever, because I had the right people around me that knew exactly what was going on and all this stuff, they understood what a virus is and all these things. Like, they support me to not even have fear. Like, that's just a simple example, but there's so much things in business I've learned and all that, just based on, you know, I used to have a job, but then the networks and that I had developed, eventually they helped me to move out of that and have my own business, right? So now I'll tell you one thing that realization I had of why we even get drained. The main point is, like, when you start acting like someone that you're not, right? Like, and you know that when you're around others, it's like you're doing the fake smile, or you're over exaggerating things, or you think you have to be this certain type of character for others to like you or accept you. And whenever you're doing that, when you're naturally not like that, that's when you feel drained. Because if you were naturally talkative, when you were naturally smiling all the time and all that, it would just feel natural, and then it would be much more easier to keep going and not feel this point of being drained, because you have to act like something you're not, and your brain is trying to process everything going on. Now, the main thing, I remember I went to an event. It was like a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? This is back in 2018-19. And that event, I got drained a lot, because it's like I had to act like I want to talk to people, and I had to act all these things when that wasn't my characteristic. That wasn't who I am, who I was, right? But at that event, I met a few individuals that changed my whole life and supported me a lot, right? And those people were explaining a lot of these things to me, of why I had a hard time talking to people, why I had a hard time even wanting to go and talk to someone, right? And so they showed me certain tools and technologies and all that, and once I started using that and really reprogramming essentially like who I was, I don't even know how to fully explain it, because it wouldn't make sense, but it's like, imagine I was changing really my thinking at a core deep level. It wasn't like I was doing affirmation, it wasn't any of that. And then once I started doing that, naturally, all of a sudden, I had all these ideas. Naturally, I felt more inclined to talk to someone. Naturally, I was just becoming happier generally, right? And it was weird. And ever since then, all of a sudden, it's like I actually, whether I'm by myself or whether I'm around other people, or regardless of that situation, I don't get drained anymore. I actually enjoy it. I've grown a lot because of it. And I think most people don't even know what's even available, because there's so much out there in terms of people being impulsive, like, buy this course, buy this thing, buy that thing. And there's certain things that I paid for that got me to where I am. There's certain things that I didn't pay for that were free. There's movies that I watched. There's audios I listened to. It was a combination of all of it, right? There's certain people that think only buying things you have to pay for is good, but then some people they think only things that it's free is good, but it's a combination of both. But most importantly, you have to have someone that had been where you are right now, in terms of their thinking, in terms of having all these fears, in terms of, like, I used to be super lazy, procrastinate. It's like, it was weird because I had all this potential. I knew I had the potential. Other people saw it in me and they would point it out, but I was just too lazy to procrastinate. So I was like, let me find someone who were struggling with similar points, and then but now they had what I wanted. Let me see, what did they do? And when I found those people, they just show me what they did. They show me the technologies they use. They show me the different movies they watched, different courses they took. And it was like so much easier, because I was like, now I don't have to spend all this money, get lost in all this information, keep searching and keep getting sold on things. It's like I just ended up buying and doing the things they were suggesting, because they were where I used to be, right? Like at that time where I was, I'm like, oh, this person used to be where I am, right? Based on everything they're sharing, how they were and all that stuff, right? They would see a next shiny object, they would go into that opportunity, like, oh, e-commerce, let me jump in that. Oh, trading, let me jump in that, right? But never really making it in any of it, and getting burnt out after a few weeks or months. But now they were at a point where they were making good money, 10K, 20K and all that stuff. And I was like, let me just do that. And eventually I was able to do, 10K in a day, 24K in a week and all that stuff. And I would make it in a single day. And then I was like, oh, I don't need to work for the whole month now. But the point is, like, it worked. I just did what they did. So find that person that used to be like you. If you are like, oh, my social battery gets drained fast, or I feel this, or I have this fear, or I'm afraid of what if I do it and it doesn't work out, what if I don't know, like all these fears, whatever you have, find someone that had similar things to that. And sometimes it's cool because I have people from YouTube, these videos, that reach out. They're like, oh my god, I'm going through the exact same thing, this is, and then I tell them what I did, they do it, and boom, it works, right? But find someone like that, and then also see, are they where you want to be at. Like, this is a concept people get wrong, because they think, oh, they have to pick a guy who's making $100 million. Like, that guy's not gonna work with you. You have to find someone who's making 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, I don't know where you're at, and start there. Even 20 grand, like, maybe those people are not gonna work with you, right? So find something, someone who has been where you are, and he is where you want to be eventually, and just do what they did. That's what I did. That was one of the big things that I had to do, and it really changed my whole life. And now I'm supporting so many people, and it's incredible, right? I'm just getting back from a whole networking thing, and in the past I wouldn't even want to go to a networking event, right? So yeah, consider these points and find that person and start growing. Peace.